Folks, if you are looking for a tiny penny stock that could deliver massive gains in 2025, then pay close attention, because I have a tiny 93 cents biotech penny stock for you guys to watch for tomorrow morning that is making a lot of buzz in the market, gaining over 1,000% recently, going from just 13 cents to $1.52, making people hundreds and even thousands of dollars along the way. And if you believe the hype is over, you could be very wrong, because the technical analysis says otherwise. This is not just any biotech play riding temporary hype or speculative buzz. This is a story of real science, real regulatory progress, and a biotech company stepping into one of the most underserved high-potential medical markets in the world: ALS, neurodegeneration, and even human longevity. This is a stock that could easily become one of the most explosive winners in 2025 and beyond, if you're paying attention at the right time. So, the stock I'm talking about is Clotho Neurosciences Incorporated, trading under the ticker KLTO on the Nasdaq. Currently trading at just 93 cents, this microcap biotech gem is already up 91% year-to-date, despite the recent pullback. But here's the real kicker. The technical setup, the price action, and the biotech pipeline all suggest that this is just the start of something much bigger. And when you take a closer look at the company's mission, its recent regulatory progress, and the bigger vision they are building behind the scenes, it becomes clear that KLTO is not just another penny stock. This is the kind of asymmetric investment opportunity that can transform a small portfolio into something life-changing, not overnight, but over time, with the right milestones and momentum in place. And the first part of that momentum has already begun. At its core, Clotho Neurosciences is focused on gene therapy, but not just any gene therapy. This is a company building cutting-edge, next-generation therapeutics based on the biology of one of the body's most protective, promising proteins, Clotho. The company is focused on ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, as the lead indication for its therapy, KLTO-202. ALS is a devastating, fast-progressing, and almost always fatal neurodegenerative condition that has stumped medical researchers for decades. Most patients don't survive more than a few years after diagnosis. Current treatments are limited, expensive, and often provide minimal benefit. So, when a company like Clotho Neurosciences gets orphan drug designation from the FDA for a gene therapy targeting ALS, that is not something to overlook. That is a serious milestone, a credibility marker, and a sign that something meaningful is happening behind the scenes. And that's exactly what just happened. The FDA officially granted KLTO orphan drug designation for its lead therapy, KLTO-202. If you're not familiar with what that means, let me break it down for you. The orphan drug status provides 7 years of market exclusivity, meaning if this therapy gets approved, no one else can compete with it for that disease for 7 full years. It also provides tax credits for clinical trials, grant eligibility, and accelerated regulatory support from the FDA. But even more than the financial and strategic advantages, orphan drug designation is a signal. It's a message from regulators that says, we believe this drug has real, credible potential to treat a serious and underserved disease. And that alone puts KLTO in an entirely different league than most preclinical biotech companies trading under $1. So what exactly is KLTO-202? It's a Clotho-based gene therapy designed to increase the expression of the Clotho protein in key areas of the body, particularly the brain and nervous system. Why is that important? Because the Clotho protein has been shown in multiple preclinical studies to have powerful effects on cognition, neural repair, and even lifespan extension. That's right. We're not just talking about managing symptoms here. We're talking about potentially reversing damage. We're talking about improving neurological function. And in a disease like ALS, where the body's motor neurons rapidly degenerate, that could be nothing short of revolutionary. Let that sink in for a moment. This isn't a rebranded drug. It's not a generic reformulation or another attempt to squeeze a few more months out of an existing treatment. KLTO is working on a completely novel mechanism, using gene therapy to stimulate a naturally protective protein that the human body already produces. That's the beauty of this approach. It's not artificial, it's not foreign, it's augmenting the body's own defenses, something we've seen work time and time again in other areas of medicine, from immunotherapies to regenerative stem cell platforms. And KLTO is applying that principle to one of the most aggressive neurological diseases out there. And what's even more exciting is that this is not some distant pipe dream. KLTO isn't just sitting on an idea, they're executing. In June, the company confirmed that it has begun manufacturing scale-up and IND-enabling studies. These are the final, crucial steps before applying for permission to begin human trials. Once they complete toxicology studies and submit the investigational new drug IND application to the FDA, KLTO could launch its first Phase 1/2 clinical trial, potentially as early as the third quarter of 2026. That may seem far off on the calendar, but in the world of biotech, that is practically right around the corner. These next 12 to 18 months could be packed with milestones, manufacturing updates, preclinical data, IND filing, partnership news, all of which could drive massive value for early investors. Let's talk price action, because while fundamentals are the long-term driver, technicals often tell the near-term story. And the story here is compelling. Over the past 2 months, KLTO has surged from 0.13 cents to $1.52, a staggering 1,000% gain. That's not a typo. And now, after that breakout, the stock has cooled off and is consolidating around just 0.93 cents. It means we're sitting right in the accumulation zone, the calm before the next wave. The price floor is holding strong, volume remains elevated, and the 14-day RSI is hovering around 53, a neutral to bullish reading that signals the stock is not overbought. There's room to run. The momentum indicators are leaning bullish, and technical support has clearly formed just below the $1 level, with resistance sitting in the $1.06 to $1.10 range. A breakout through that level, especially tied to any news flow, could send this stock flying again. What's even more interesting is that this setup is not driven by hype. There's no press release mania or social media frenzy here. What we're seeing is smart money accumulation. Investors who understand the value-building process in biotech are quietly entering positions, building exposure before the company reaches its next phase. That's exactly how major multibaggers start, not with noise, but with smart accumulation at key levels. And KLTO is showing every sign of being in that stage right now. And just when you think the story couldn't get any more interesting, there's another layer. KLTO isn't just focused on ALS anymore. In July, the company officially announced that it is expanding its pipeline into human longevity. That's right, this company is now targeting the holy grail of medicine, not just treating disease, but slowing or reversing aging itself. And they're going about it in a way that few others can. They've initiated preclinical programs exploring alpha and beta klothomodulation, FOXO3 gene activation, a biomarker tied to increased human lifespan, and anti-myostatin antibody programs targeting muscle wasting, frailty, and other age-related decline factors. This opens up a whole new market for KLTO, a market valued at hundreds of billions of dollars, with virtually no dominant players and enormous unmet demand. This move into longevity is not a pivot. It's an expansion, a logical next step based on the biology of the klotho-protein. The same protective effects that make KLTO-202 a promising ALS treatment also apply to broader aging-related conditions. That means KLTO is building a platform, not a one-trick pony drug. And in the world of biotech, platform companies are the ones that win. They attract strategic partnerships, they generate multiple shots on goal, and they offer long-term upside far beyond a single approval. Let's take a second to talk about something that didn't happen, but almost did, and it tells you a lot about the management team's focus and discipline. Earlier this year, KLTO was on the verge of a reverse merger with a consumer electronics company, Skybell Technologies. Sounds crazy, right? A biotech firm merging with a smart doorbell company. But in micro-cap land, things like this happen. Cash-hungry companies sometimes take bad deals, but Klotho's leadership didn't take the bait. They walked away. They realized that the merger would have diluted biotech shareholders by 90% and buried the company's therapeutic pipeline under a completely unrelated business. So they killed the deal. That move, walking away from easy capital to protect the mission and shareholder equity, showed exactly the kind of discipline investors should want from a preclinical biotech team. They chose science over shortcuts, and that decision preserved the company's long-term potential in a very real way. So now, with a clean capital structure, a high-value regulatory catalyst in hand, and a growing pipeline focused on both ALS and longevity, Klotho Neurosciences is in a prime position to deliver value. It's sitting at the intersection of multiple megatrends: gene therapy, neurodegeneration, and anti-aging medicine. It has a supportive regulatory partner in the FDA, a tight technical setup, and a market cap that still reflects early-stage risk, not yet priced for success. That is the definition of asymmetric upside. Let me be clear, this is not a guaranteed moonshot. Biotech investing always comes with risk. Trials can fail, timelines can shift. But the opportunity here is very real. This is a company already proving it can hit regulatory milestones, a company showing strong price action, a company building a pipeline around one of the most compelling biological targets in the human body, and doing it at a price that most investors are still ignoring. At 93 cents per share, KLTO is trading at a level that still gives you a seat at the ground floor, with a chart that's already shown what happens when momentum and milestones align. If the company delivers updates on manufacturing, preclinical data, or new longevity programs, we could see the next leg of this rally take shape fast. And with orphan drug designation already secured, there is a real foundation here for long-term growth and institutional attention. So if you're looking for a biotech stock that's early, overlooked, and building something special, Clotho Neurosciences should be at the top of your list. With a price under $1, an FDA-designated gene therapy targeting ALS, and a bold expansion into the future of longevity, KLTO is one of the most compelling penny stocks in the market right now. If you found this video helpful or insightful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more high-upside stock breakdowns just like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.